live at Cafe Gratitude. Thank you so much. Nice big crowd. Love it. Well, a few housekeeping things as usual before we get started and I introduce the speaker for tonight. Anybody here see the video on the Renegade Health Show last week? Yes. If you haven't yet, go to the Renegade Health Show. Shea was on there twice. Once showing a recipe that she made for a party that we had over the weekend, and the second time giving last week's speaker, Kevin, a colonic. Not graphic, doesn't actually show anything, but if you know Shea, you know that she really knows her stuff and she knows a lot about what she does. So a lot of great information there. Check it out, renegadehealthshow.com. Also, make sure to go to her website, which is SheaLynnBaird.com. There's some flyers down here in the front which has information about that. If you want access to the past speaker archive, so all the previous speakers are on there. We've made a few changes. Now, you just need to go to her website, SheaLynnBaird.com/Monday, and actually sign up for her newsletter, and then you get access to all the archives. So take a few minutes and go check it out. There's a lot of great past speakers. There's also a lot of great upcoming speakers. So I'll tell you a little bit about those at the end of the talk here tonight. For now, tonight we're very lucky to have Alan Hardman with us. A lot of you obviously know who he is. I see a lot of unfamiliar faces here, so that's great. Don Allen Hardman was an apprentice for 10 years to Don Miguel Ruiz, who is the author of the 4 Agreements. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about him. He's known as the high-tech Toltec master. He runs a dynamic online website, Taco, which is the Toltec apprenticeship community online. And I've spent some time checking it out, and it's definitely worth looking into. He's the author of the Everything Toltec Wisdom book, and we're lucky enough to have him back in Santa Rosa from his winter home in Chicala, Mexico. Everybody please put your hands together for Alan Hardman.
Hello. I'm grateful. Thank you very much, Stephen. That was beautiful. Ooh, yeah. Hello. I am grateful to be here and to see a lot of familiar faces I haven't seen for a long time because I have been out of town. And to see a lot of new faces too. Have you ever noticed that, and you can try right now, if you identify something that you're grateful for, it could be this moment, it could be this food, it could be the companionship, it could be something not related to this moment here, but something, when you do that, when you think about something you are grateful for, in my experience, there's no fear in my mind. My mind has a choice between having fear-based stories and love-based stories. And when I'm experiencing gratitude, when I'm feeling gratitude, when I am being grateful, that's love. And since I love to love, and I love to be in love, and I love to feel love, I make it a point to be as grateful as I can, as much as I can be, so that I can have that feeling. So I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful that each and every one of you is here, and I'm grateful for your attention as we get to explore some things that I chose to talk to you about tonight. The title that we gave my talk is Living Passionately Without Attachment to the Outcome. You'll find it as my business card, and I invite you to take one or more home with you afterwards and put it on the refrigerator and see how it serves you. Alan's axiom number 1. Live passionately without attachment to the outcome. Let's start with the passionately part, and then we'll go to the attachment to the outcome part. I met Miguel. How many of you know Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements, that Mastery of Love, that work? Mexican man, most of you good. I met him in 1995, and I had been a spiritual seeker for a very long time. I had tried meditating and tried ignoring the fact that my knees were hurting when I was sitting, in a full lotus and chanting things in foreign languages, and it worked for a lot of people, but it never worked for me. And at the same time, I had a really beautiful love for Mexico and things Mexican. So when I met Miguel Ruiz, I had Mexican, and I had somebody that was passionate about life. This was not somebody that was trying to rise above his lusts or his desires or put aside his emotions. This was a man whose life was based on living absolutely passionately in every moment. And I remember going out to eat with him. We used to, before he wrote the book, this was a couple years before he wrote the book, so I was blessed to be part of often of kind of small entourages that would be doing things. And we'd go out to dinner, and there'd be a dozen of us around a table like this, and the waitress would be going around taking orders, and I'd be thinking, well, God, I'd love that thing, but I probably should just have a salad, and I probably should have a no-fat dressing, and I'd be like kind of watering down what I was wanting. So I'd order what I thought I should eat, and the waitress would get to him, and he'd say, do you have any feta cheese, and maybe some dried Greek olives, some French bread? He just named some things that he was hungry for. And she'd write it down and say, oh, we can get that for you. And so we'd all get our food, and I'd be sitting there, good salad. But he'd be taking this bread, and this beautiful fresh bread, and tearing pieces off and stuffing an olive in there and some feta cheese and saying, oh, try this. He'd be passing it around, making one for everybody, and passing it around. I go, that's a lot better than my salad. Why didn't I think of that? And I saw that this was a man who was very, very passionate about what he wanted and how he felt, and just being alive in the moment. And I saw by being with him like that how much I wasn't. And I said, I want to hang out with this guy. I want to see what he knows that I don't know. How does he do that? And years later, it's about 5 years ago or so now, he had a really serious heart attack. He was in a coma for many weeks. They expected him to die, and he didn't, and he's back now, he's teaching again. But people would always come to me and say, well, if he was a Toltec Nagual, if he was a shaman, if he was a man of power, why did he have a heart attack? And in those moments I realized that a lot of my food choices and stuff were based on my controlling the outcome of not having a heart attack. And he wasn't going there. He was doing what he wanted, and who knows why he had a heart attack. I used to answer people by saying, oh, well, he really loved bacon. And you could see them mentally making a note, well, I'm never going to eat bacon, because it causes heart attacks. And because of that need to control the outcome. So my premise that I'm offering tonight, and that I strive more and more to live my life by, is that if we want to live in the moment, if we want to live like passionately and vibrantly in each moment, we can't do that and control the outcomes. We have a choice, yeah? And there's no right or wrong about this, and I'm not here to suggest that you should do it one way or the other, because should would be back to more controlling.